Welcome to this video on 5 ways to draw a slot in sketch mode of Autodesk Fusion. In most cases, slots will be needed on existing geometry. So as an example, here we have a metal ground plate, and suppose we need a slot, a horizontal slot here exactly in the middle. Let's go to the Create menu, find Slot, and we see we have 5 ways of doing it. If I want a slot in the middle, a center point slot seems like a logical choice. Let's click that one. Now the task is to find the middle of this rectangle. I can touch this line and then move over it until I see a triangle. Yeah. That's the middle. If I touch that line, it will probably also find that middle. Yeah, so this is the middle of this rectangle. Let me now click. This is the center point of our slot. Let's move to the side. We can type in a exact dimension or use Snap to Grid, which I'm doing now. Left click, and the next thing to do is to move up or down. And again, type in a dimension, or with Snap to Grid, I get exactly 20 millimeters now. That's fine. Let's click. And there we have our slot. Suppose I need a second slot at exactly 20 or 30 millimeters up, again in the middle. Well, there's one little problem. Let me zoom in. Our grid is not exactly in the middle of the snaps, so it does never snap anymore. But I see that my circular center points are on a snap point, and there is another way to draw slots. That is the way, let me go to the Create menu and then Slot, the center to center slot. That comes to the rescue this time. I can go to the center, move up, and then click, and that is the first center point, and then click again here, hovering on that already existing center point, and then I can again type in or left click if I have a correct dimension, and there we have our next slot. The third way to draw a slot, at least a straight slot, that is the overall slot, and that means it goes from the end point to end point. So if I take this center point and draw an end to end, an overall slot, we will see that it becomes a little bit a smaller slot because the distance of this helper line goes not to the center points of the circles, but to the exact outside of the slot. That can sometimes come in handy to draw a slot that way. It depends on your existing geometry, which of the 3 ways works best. Alright, I cleaned our slate. Let's have a look at the 2 ways to draw an arc slot. In the Create Slot menu, we see a 3-point arc slot. Let's click it. Well, let's start our first point here, second point there, and then go to the middle and move up, and let's place a point well over there, and then we can move away and give it a thickness. We can type it in. Let me type it in exactly 20, and there we have it. This is one way to draw an arc slot, 3 points that I had selected. The other way to draw an arced slot is the center point. This one, center point arc. Well, let's find a center point on this line and then try to find the midpoint again. Yeah, that's over here. Click, that is the center point. Then let's click here for the start of the arc, and then click there for the end of the arc, and now we can specify the dimension. Either click or type it in 20 and enter. There we have it. These are the 5 ways to draw slots. Thank you for watching. Maybe see you back in the next video. In the meantime, have fun.